All right, Aaron Freeman here, joined by the newest Falcon, Jack Crawford, formerly of the Dallas Cowboys, formerly of Penn State University. On behalf of all Falcon fans everywhere, Jack, I want to welcome you to the community and welcome you to the Brotherhood.
I appreciate that, man. It's a pleasure to be there. It's a pleasure to be here.
Um, First question I got to ask you: what attracted you to come to Atlanta on that opening day of free agency?
Honestly, the first thing that I saw in Atlanta was the defense. That's really what stuck out to me. I mean, I love watching tape on just their front seven, and the whole defense, man. They just have a lot of energy. It looks like they really enjoy, being out there and playing together. And I love the style of play too, the attitude and the philosophy in which they play with. That to me was just appealing, and I'm glad it ended up the way it did.
Okay. You played for Coach Marinelli in Dallas. He's considered one of the great defensive line coaches, arguably ever. I'm curious, what are some of the things he did for your career, and what are some of the similarities that you see between Coach Marinelli and Dan Quinn here in Atlanta?
Oh man, I mean, there's so much I can say about Marinelli. He really kind of helped me grow, to be honest, as a player. He just he showed me what it's about. I mean, he showed me what defensive line's about. He showed me what just playing defense is about. He has his mindset. He's old school, but he doesn't change. He pays attention to the details. His whole thing is about what's in your control, and that's effort. That's the physical. How physical you play, and just how much it's the 1-2. And that's what I saw. When I met with Coach Quinn and Coach Young, and they was telling they had the same attitude. It's about playing for your brothers and being accountable, but you can't have somebody on the defense who's has 1 foot in and 1 foot out, and then somebody else right next to them selling out. So it seemed I could see that on the tape, and that's kind of what I learned just playing the Marinelli system, and it's I could see that in the defense here. So I'm excited. I feel lucky to be in this position. The Falcons were interested in me, but I'm excited to just trying to assimilate to the team and be part of that.
Now, if you don't mind me asking, you signed with the Falcons on
Yeah.
the first day of free agency, but I'm curious, were there other teams sort of sniffing around you?
Yeah, there was about 4 or 5 other teams that were interested, and like I said, I'm just grateful to be here. Out of those teams, I don't think there was a better fit in the NFL, just for how I like to play. And I just think it was. I'm just grateful, man. I think this, especially being in Atlanta, it's a poppin' city. So I was just, it's somewhere I haven't been, I haven't experienced it before, but just the culture there and just being able to kind of have an opportunity to play here was, a blessing.
So last year you were a free agent. You wound up re-signing with Dallas for 1 year. I know
Right.
you sort of shopped yourself around to try to get the best deal. What sort of
Yeah.
mindset or what sort of goals changed for you compared to last year, this year, now that you're in Atlanta getting a little bit more of a long-term deal?
I mean, honestly, I felt like, this is kind of, what I was working for, and this is why I just took a 1 year deal last year. I had offers to play for a longer contract, but I just wasn't happy with the deal and the offer. And this one I was. I felt like this is what I deserve, but I feel like I can do more. But I just, I feel like last year the difference in that experience was sitting around in free agency, waiting for teams to contact you and seeing who's interested in you. It's not an enjoyable experience. And going through that, and then coming here this year and kind of signing, day one of free agency, it was, I wasn't expecting it just based on last year. I was almost, expecting to kind of go through free agency and see what's happening. But the way it worked out, I was happy because it's not a nice experience to go through. It feels like going through the draft all over again.
In Dallas, you played pretty much every spot on the defensive line. You played all across the line. Was there any one
Right.
particular position that you enjoyed playing the most, or you think you're the best at?
Yeah, I mean, me personally, I prefer, I like playing inside, to be honest. I like playing D tackle. I think I like to go against the, offensive guards. I think sometimes you can mismatch them with speed. And, I don't think they're typically as athletic as the offensive tackles. So, I like, especially in the pass rush, I like being inside. It's a little bit different in the run. In the run game, you can, the inside can get a little crazy sometimes, when you get double teams. Sometimes it'd be easier playing the run from defensive end. But, honestly, I don't mind. From the defensive tackle position to defensive end, I think in this system and the system I was in before, there's a lot of similarities between the two.
Now, I'm curious, have the Falcons been sort of explicit with you in terms of what your role is going to be? Are you going to sort of do what you did in Dallas, playing both inside and out?
I mean, from just what I gathered, that I think I'm going to be primarily play inside, but I'm comfortable playing outside too. So, just if anything happens or, someone goes down, then it wouldn't be anything for me to go to play outside again, because I'm very comfortable being outside too.
Now, I watched a little bit of you last year with Dallas, and it seemed like you played a little lighter than your listed weight of 288. Is that true?
Yeah, at the beginning of the season, yeah. And then, actually, I was around like 280.
And was that because all the issues that Dallas was having with the roster, with the suspensions at defensive end, you wanted to get a little quicker so you can play a little bit more on the outside?
Yeah, part of that. Honestly, I was like, some of the suspensions, caught me off guard. One of the suspensions caught me off guard, and I felt like I was a little heavier than I wanted to be a defensive end. But because I played defensive tackle all through preseason. So I was playing defensive tackle. Then game one, they put me in starting to end. So I felt like I could have been a little lighter to play defensive end. But I mean, I just, I feel like it's a good weight around 280. Like I think 275, 280. You can kind of play both.
Now, you're known for your motor, your relentless effort. Are there any other areas of your game that you also consider to be major strengths?
Honestly, I think my motor stands out on tape, and I think it overshadows some of the things I think I improved on during the year. Just in even the pass game, like the pass rush game, and then setting the edge, in the defense, just being solid in the run game. I think that most people, would look at me and say you have a good motor, but just in the scheme in Dallas last year, some of the plays, are made. You don't make the plays on the ball, but you cause the play to, a linebacker to come free and stuff like that. So I just felt like in the run game, I improved a lot, last year.
Now, for anybody that's listening, if they haven't been able to figure it out by now, you have a little bit of an accent. That's because you're from the UK. What sort of talk a little bit about your background coming over to the U.S., not necessarily, from what I understand, not with the intention of playing football, and now you sort of fast forward a decade or so later, and now you're, playing in the National Football League.
I mean, it's crazy. It's a crazy story, honestly. It's I guess, I came over when I was 16 to play basketball, and then ended up playing American football. I went out for the high school team my junior year, and then from that point forward, I fell in love with the game. And to me now, it's just more exciting sport than basketball, to be honest with you. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy to think back, and I had no intentions of playing American football, and now being in this position here, I guess it shows, you never know where life's going to take you. But I guess that's all I can say. Long story short, it's been a crazy ride, and I'm just grateful for every moment.
What was the catalyst that got you to really fall in love with American football?
Honestly, it was just when I first came to America, just seeing the culture around it. I watched the first thing. I mean, my introduction was college football, so I watched college football on TV, and I saw the USC Texas Rose Bowl, oh no, championship, and it was crazy, just to see the atmosphere and how people are just so crazy about the sport, and you have diehard fans and stuff, and just the electricity around it. I became a fan of the game, and yeah, it was exciting to watch, and I just wanted to play. That's the first thing. I just wanted to play. I wanted to be on the field. I wanted to experience it, and I kind of just ran with it from there. So, I went out for that. I went to some high school games at the school I was attending, and I watched it, and I felt like I could do that. I played rugby growing up, so I felt like the physical part didn't faze me. It was just, I just needed to learn it a little bit more. It's a different sport.
Now, you said you came over to play basketball. What was your position?
I played the three.
Okay. So you got a nice little jump shot, I'm assuming?
Yeah. See, people look at me and they don't think I do, but I do.
Okay. Well, I mean, now you got the body of a power forward. So, do you have a low post game now?
Yeah, man. But I ain't stepping on the court anytime soon, man.
Okay.
I ain't
Yeah, we had cornerback C.J. Goodwin, and he played a little bit of college basketball. We talked to him about who he would pick to be his starting five among his teammates. And so when you get the chance to see him, you might need to show him a little something so that you can maybe make his starting five.
Yeah, man. Yeah, well, I mean, see, it's gonna have to be a locker room basketball because I don't know about stepping on the court and then twist my ankle or something like that.
Okay, all right. Well, yeah, I understand.
I'll play a horse. Yeah, I'll play a game of horse or something.
Okay, all right. Well, if you got the jump shot, I think you could take him. Now, I'm curious. Like, I've heard you talk about one of the things that you wanted to do when you came to Atlanta was really help out some of the young guys. Now you have a new teammate in Vic Beasley who led the NFL in sacks. Obviously, he doesn't need a ton of help if he can already accomplish that in his second year. But do you feel like there's a little bit of responsibility that now that you've been around the league for a couple of years to sort of take some of these younger pass rushers, younger defensive linemen under your wing if need be?
Oh yeah, I mean, honestly, to be honest with you, I don't even consider age when it comes into the league. I mean, yeah, you gain experience, but it's just about what's on tape. And like you said, Vic Beasley, he don't need a lot of help. He got a ton of sacks last year, so I think it's about keeping an open mind. I don't care if there's a second year player, third year player if they're performing, then I'm gonna go to them for help. I'm gonna say, what's your tricks, because it's just about growing. Some people have too much pride to ask for help, but when you're trying to improve, age doesn't come into it. It's just about performance. It's about what you do on the field. So, if I see anybody who was having a tough time, was struggling in the area that I think I could help in, I would definitely step in and help because I just want everybody to be successful. That's how everybody gains, is if everybody's helping each other. That's how you form, a team chemistry and stuff, So, coming in as a new player, I'm not trying to take a role. I'm pretty quiet dude, when it comes to start, stepping into a new system, a new organization. I know there's a brotherhood and there's a chemistry that's been built over the years between the players. So I'm just gonna come. I'm trying to come in and just fit in and assimilate to the team and hopefully be of some help.
Whether it was in Dallas or earlier in your career when you were with the Raiders, was there anybody that provided that sort of leadership, that mentor role for you?
Yeah, well, I mean, my rookie year coming in, I had a couple players that helped me, grow along the way. I think the first player, I have to say was Richard Seymour. He just seeing somebody of his, status and his stature, someone who's like, very experienced. He just gave me a lot of tips about the league, and then there was also younger players who kind of helped me get through the first years of the league in terms of just understanding the speed of the game and, understanding the details. And I would say like Lamar Houston, he plays for the Bears now, but he helped me a lot, when we was together. And, I've just picked up stuff along the way. There's every player, every coach you encounter, if you can pick something up that helps your game, then that could, transform you, immensely. Meeting Marinelli for me, if I hadn't had the opportunity to play under him, I might not be in this position I'm in right now, and being able to kind of sign a 3-year deal for you guys. So I just feel like it's whoever you meet, I'm always keeping an open mind to just learn. I'm just trying to learn and get better.
Okay. Now, you mentioned earlier about how sort of free agency was similar to the draft in terms of sort of waiting around. Talk about your experience when you were getting drafted back in, 2012?
Yeah. You know what? That's a crazy experience, man. It's going from feeling, sometimes, some depending on what you're expecting to happen, you're feeling pretty low at some points, or not low, but you just feel like, maybe you should have been picked up over other people. There's all those kind of thoughts that enter your head, and then when you finally get picked up, it's a feel of relief. It was mainly just a feel of having a job, and having a team that wants you to come in and play for them. So it's the draft. I mean, it's hard to explain all the emotions and how the nerves and everything and how tense it is for a player. But it's like I said, it's hard to explain unless you actually go through it. But free agency was similar last year. I felt like I was sitting around. It feels like a draft, but over 3 weeks, and it's just finally signing back with Dallas. I just decided to take a 1-year deal and try and put something on tape again for this year.
Now, for me as a Falcon fan, this is a sore subject for me, but I do have to ask you, what was your opinion on when you watched the team in the Super Bowl?
Oh, honestly, when I watched the Super Bowl, I was watching just the defense. And for me, that was like, I fell in love with the defense, man. They had so much juice. I even tweeted it while I was watching the Super Bowl. I was tweeting about Atlanta's defense. And, yeah, man, I was just like, I wasn't even, I mean, it is what it is, Tom Brady, that's what it is, I mean, it's, stuff happens. But, man, like watching that defense, that honestly, it got me excited. And that's part of the reason, like, right now I'm just excited to try, become part of that, part of the brotherhood.
Okay. Okay. What's the first thing you're gonna do when you get, or I'm assuming you've already been to Atlanta, but what's some of the first few things that you plan on doing?
Oh, I'm gonna try and look for a place to live, man. That's from, just from my understanding, well, just from what I saw, the facility is a little ways from Atlanta, from the city, so it's tough trying to figure out a new area and what's comfortable in terms of getting to work and being there on time, So I'm going to look for a place to live first, but then after that, I'm going to explore the city and, just try and, make some friends and fit in on the team.
Okay. I gotta say, I'm a big fan of the Twitter handle Sacrilegious. You come up with that, or you got like a
Oh
PR
yeah.
person there? Uh,
Nah, man, that was me. Yeah, I came
okay.
out there in college, man. That was on me. I had a bunch of names on Twitter. I had before it was Saks Fifth Ave.
Okay.
I had Goldman Sachs,
Okay. I
Kodak
like that.
Sachs. I had a few names that were cool, but you know what? Sacrilegious, just stuck, and yeah, I haven't changed it since. I get a few compliments on that name, so I ain't changing it.
Okay. All right. Jack, is there anything else that you wanted to share with our listeners, or anything else that you wanted to plug?
Yeah, man, I'm just like I said before, man. I'm excited to be here, man. I've heard nothing but good things. I met the whole staff. The coaches are awesome. You know, players. I heard that. You know, everybody on the team is awesome. The defense is awesome. You know, and the way how the energy that they have in the city. I believe that from what I've seen, that the culture around the Falcons and the Falcons fans is growing, and especially you know, I just think with the new stadium they built, it's going to help just the city connect with the team, and I think I feel like I'm fortunate to be here at this moment because I think the team is going to be something special over the next few years, and I want to be a part of it. So yeah, I'm excited to be here and you know, rise up.
All right, rise up. Well, as I said at the top of the show, welcome to the team. Looking forward to seeing you play this year and over the next couple of years. And you know, as you said, rise up.
Yes, sir.
All
Pleasure to
right,
be
man.
here.